Getting ready to start a new lesson in personal finance. Just getting the live stream going. If you're on Facebook or YouTube, if you happen to be hearing my voice or seeing my mug, feel free to leave a comment. If you're a student and you're watching this at 2 in the morning on Saturday or whenever, be sure to leave a comment to let me know you're watching. I'm about to get started with the Zoom meeting. We still have a couple of minutes. I'm going to get over there and get that started. But welcome if you're online. Watching on YouTube or Facebook, I'm going to invite, accept, admit. Welcome aboard. Those of you who are joining in Zoom, in the Zoom room, welcome. If you would do me a favor and give me that normal comment in the chat to let me know you can hear me. That would be great. And also in the chat, thank you. Good morning. Good morning, Ava. Thanks, Nick. Appreciate it. And you can also just type in the time that you joined the Zoom meeting. I save those as a record of you being here. Thank you, Christina. I can hear you too. No, actually, I can't. I just see your comment. So thank you. We're going to get started in a minute or two. We're actually early, so hope y'all are having a great day. The temperatures are coming down a little bit, which makes me happy. I am so tired of the hot heat summer. I've been living, my wife, I think I told you guys, but my wife is the volunteer park host at the Stephen F. Austin State Park. Any of you guys campers? Hey, if you're a camper, leave a comment if you're watching this on YouTube or Facebook or even in Zoom. If you're a camper, leave a comment and I'll put you on my campers list. No, I don't have a campers list, but if you're a camper, you might be interested to know that I do live typically most of the time at the Stephen F. Austin State Park in our beautiful RV out there. Every morning I get up, I see beautiful deer and raccoon, squirrels and cardinals and armadillos and possum, the ugliest animal on the planet. We have a wild cat living with us and a huge spider that shows up right outside our door pretty regularly and builds himself a nest. So yeah, that's what I do. But today I'm in Friendswood in my studio and I'm happy to be here. Good internet here. So we're going to get started in a minute. We're going to talk about first memories of money. Before we do that though, I want to just say you guys have done a great job. Your credit report assignment. Let's see if I still have that. Yeah, here it is. This was last week's assignment, your credit report. And you guys did a great job on that. So hopefully it was helpful. If you have a comment or observation you want to share, now's a good time to do that. We've got a couple minutes. I've been reading your assignments. Man, so many of you are turning your assignments in early by Friday at 3 p.m. in order to get those extra points. And I really appreciate that. It helps me a lot because I can keep up with the grading much better when you turn them in early instead of having everything just pile into the queue at the last minute, which typically is the most valuable minute of the week for most students. The last minute, if it weren't for the last minute, nothing would get done. But that's not true for this group. This what do we call us? This cohort is doing a great job getting assignments in early. And I appreciate it. Excuse me. I appreciate it because it gives me the opportunity to grade your assignments, give you a little bit more feedback, and mostly it gives you the opportunity to make any corrections that might come up whenever you miss something or get a deduction here or there. There aren't that many deductions, but there are some. And those of you who have received deductions, if you turned your assignment in early, you get a chance to fix that. I would like to mention before we get started, though, and I hope you'll share this in GroupMe, share it with, just make a note of it for yourself. If you turn your assignment in early, which most of you are doing. Thank you very much. But if you turn it in early and you get a deduction, you get a comment from me that says, hey, you're missing this, please do that. As long as you turn it in early and then you make the corrections by the due date. Now, you can't make the corrections, 2 weeks later, but if you make your corrections and you resubmit that by the due date, you'll get the full points as long as you corrected what needed to be corrected. But when you do that, when you resubmit that assignment, please be sure to leave a little comment in that little text space to say, hey, Professor Munchback, I'm resubmitting this. I turned it in early. I fixed what you asked me to fix. And then when you post that, I will give you the extra points. But if you don't post that little note, it's very likely you're going to end up in the queue with, all of the students who turned their assignments in later on time. But once that happens, that avalanche of assignments that I'm grading, I probably won't. I might, but I wouldn't count on me. I wouldn't count on me. I would count on you to leave a comment. Now, if you forget to do that, you can let me know later, and we can play email tag and create extra work, and I'll get it fixed for you. But do me a favor and just help me out there by letting me know if you make a correction and you submit your assignment. Just let me know it's an update, it's a redo, and you'll get those full points. So, okay, it's time to get started. It is 10:05, and as you know, hopefully you know what that means. It means that we're going to not let anybody else in at this point. So we're going to talk about first memories of money. I want to just kind of set the table a little bit and tell you a little background about this question. In your homework assignment this week, you're going to get to read lots of people share their first memories of money, sections from my book, Make Your Money Count. One of my favorite chapters, and it's certainly one of my favorite assignments, is to read your this week's assignment, which is First Memories of Money, and you're going to do a parental interview. So I'll talk about both of those assignments. It's really one assignment with two parts, and so we'll talk about that. But the first one is First Memories of Money. And so a little background, I'm a financial planner. When I went to my residency program at the Financial Planning Association, it was in Philadelphia and Bryn Mawr, at the American College on their campus. It was awesome. I had some great mentors. One of my mentors, his name was Rich Busillo. He does what I do. He's been doing it a lot longer than I have, at least at that time. I'm not even sure he's still working, but if you're out there, Rich, you touched me. Anyway, Rich was an awesome dude. He was a great mentor along with the other mentors. But one of the questions that Rich asked his clients, and he taught us as mentees, as trainees, as new certified financial planners, he taught us the question that he asked his clients, and that was, he would ask them to just reflect a little bit on their first memories of money. He would just ask the question, what are your first memories of money? Maybe it was your first paycheck. Maybe it was the first time you held a bunch of coins in your hand. Maybe it was the tooth fairy. Just what is your first memory of money? So I'm going to just let you think about that for a minute, because when Rich asked that question, when he set the table for the importance of that question and how he asked his clients that question, what are your first memories of money? He just kind of started talking about it, but as he was talking about it, all of these memories were going through my head, my first memories of money. And so it's one of the reasons it ended up as a chapter title in my book, Make Your Money Count. But more than that, the question, what's your first memories of money, that whole topic has become a really important piece of the financial planning journey for me when I'm working with other clients. And it's helpful for me, too, just to reflect on my first memories of money, which you can read those. They're not required reading, but it's interesting to me, and I hope it may be interesting to you, too, to think about your first memories of money. The reason that it's interesting to me and important, as you'll see when you do your homework, is that as a financial planner, if I understand you, if you're my client and I'm helping you create a financial plan for your future, it helps me to know you, to understand how you think about money, because how you think about money is how you will behave with respect to money and financial matters. So the decisions you make, the habits that you have when it comes to managing money, those are all part of how you think about money. And how you think about money, whether you know it or not, whether you think about it or not, how you think about money goes back to and is related to your first memories of money. And so as I began to get to know people a little better by asking that question, I discovered that the way they think about money, most people, the way they think about money, can be kind of connected to their first memories of money, because their first memories of money, just like your first memories about money, the reason those memories come to mind is because they impacted you. They were something somehow significant to you in some way. And the fact that you think about those first memories of money, that those are the memories that come to you, has some relevance, some significance. And in my experience in asking this question and getting to know people in the context of helping them create a financial plan, my experience and my appreciation for that question and that whole mental process has been very significant, because what happens is when someone tells me their first memory of money, and you can read all about this again in your homework, but I'm just trying to set the table here. When someone tells me their first memory of money, like for example, my Uncle Hank, he is passed now, but he and I went for a walk one day, and he was my client. He was gracious enough as my uncle to trust me as his financial planner and his investment manager, and that meant the world to me, as you might imagine, for someone that I respected in my family to trust me to help them manage their finances. And so in doing that, I tried to treat him like a regular client. And one of the things I did was I said, let's go for a walk. We went for a walk. It was a beautiful, sunny, cool morning in Bowling Green, Kentucky. And we went for a long walk out in the country. And I asked him the question, what's your first memory about money? And he told me the story about when he was a child and the only time he ever saw his father cry. And his father was a pig farmer. In the book, my publisher said, let's use cow farmer. For some reason, that seemed more better for a book, so we did that more better. It seemed more appropriate, I guess, but I kind of regret that, because Hank was actually a pig farmer, his family, pig farmers. And so he told me the story about coming home one day from school and his father was sitting at the kitchen table crying. And what had happened is his father, every year, he would raise pigs, and their income for the entire year was the money that they received from the broker who would come to the farm and buy that year's crop of pigs. And so that particular year, that my Uncle Hank came and found his father, for the only time in his life he ever saw his father crying was that time when he was sitting at the kitchen table, and he had given his pigs to the pig broker when he came around with his truck, and he signed the paper and he got the receipt, but the dude stole the pigs, never gave him the money. Imagine that. If you're working hard to take care of your family, you work all year long to raise pigs, to feed them, to take care of them when they're sick, all of the things that goes into raising pigs, which I couldn't begin to tell you. But he did that. Hank's dad did that. The whole family did that. It was a family farm. And then to have that entire year's produce just evaporate and be gone. And that's what his father was going through, this tremendous amount of stress. And so Hank, his first memory about money was seeing that happen to his dad and experiencing that with his dad. And so that was his first memory. And as he shared that with me, it was a profound experience for me and for him too, just to relive that. And so, the question, what's your first memory about money? For me, as a financial planner, it's not just about the question and the answer, although it's if you're out there trying to figure out how to become a financial advisor or a financial planner, one of the things we struggle with, everyone in every business probably, but certainly in financial services as a financial advisor, one of the things you struggle with is earning trust. How do you build trust with someone? How do you do that effectively, efficiently, quickly? How do you get into a conversation with someone where you're relevant, where, you are not just like the guy down the street who's trying to sell something? Well, that was always important to me as a professional, to try to be really good at earning trust. And for some reason, that's come pretty natural. Most of the time, people trust me, and hopefully it's because I'm trustworthy. But I'll tell you this, as far as tricks go, this would be a great trick. Not trick, that's a terrible word, but it's true. There are certain techniques you can use to build trust. And one of them is to ask good questions and to listen. And if you ask a question that you're really interested in, that really helps. So over the years, asking that question has been not just a great experience for me, not just helpful and valuable, but it's a great way to build trust. Because when you ask a question like that about a first memory of money and someone shares a first memory, it enlivens them. And you're going to experience this question this week. It's one of the reasons I'm going a little deeper into the question, what's your first memory about money? Because the next part of your assignment is not, the first part is just to share your first memories about money and what they mean to you. Just kind of break those out and share those with me in your assignment. But the second part of your assignment is to do a parental interview. And in that interview, that's one of the questions you're going to ask the person that you choose to interview. You're going to ask the question, what's your first memories of money? And you're going to set the table a little bit, and I'll teach you how to do that in the assignment. I kind of lay that out for you. But it's really very simple. When you ask the question, you always want to kind of set the table. If I asked you, what's your purpose in life? That's not a great question. Your brain just doesn't know how to process that. And the question, what's your first memories about money, needs a little bit of table setting to help your mind prepare and think and reflect. And so the way you do that is you say, I want to ask you a question. I want to ask you about your first memories of money. And that's where you kind of help let the brain start working. And you say, maybe it was your first paycheck. Maybe it was the first time you received an allowance. Some common things that happen to young people with respect to money, like how do you discover money? It's different in every family. It's different in different cultures. But I remember holding money, having quarters. My grandfather would give us quarters. But there's lots of first memories. But I just want you to set the table, and I want you to ask that question to the person that you choose to interview. And I'm going to talk more about the interview in a minute, but first, let me wrap up on the first memories of money. The question, the answer, the connecting the dots afterwards. So with my Uncle Hank, for example, as his financial planner, I need to understand how he thinks about money. I need to understand why he feels the way he feels about money, and that will help me understand what he naturally does in terms of how he manages money. And I'll just ask you a question. If you're thinking about Uncle Hank, and as you read his story this week, just imagine that you are a financial planner trying to figure out, how does this guy operate? What's his approach to money? I want to just ask you to reflect a little bit and think about, what do you think his behavior is with money? Do you think he's one of the folks, like many of you have told me, that you spend it as fast as you get it, like you don't understand how you just spend money? And you know that you do, because you're starting to track your spending and you're seeing that you spend money. I know a lot of people who, they get money and they just want to spend it. But then on the other hand, there are a lot of folks like my Uncle Hank who really save money. In fact, they save money so much that it almost becomes like it's not all that healthy. In fact, that was my Uncle Hank. He would save. He was very frugal. He made really good money because he was a super hard worker, and he was really smart, and he was great with people, and he was in sales, and he was very trustworthy. He was the guy. When my wife first met my Uncle Hank, when we first got married and I took her to meet my family, my mom's side of the family was from Kentucky, Bowling Green, Kentucky. And when she met my Uncle Hank, from then on, I've been married for 40 years, but from then on, whenever we had a decision we had to make as a couple, my wife would always say, what would Uncle Hank say? What would... and we would ask him when we had difficult things. I'd call him up. So he was that guy in the family. So I want you to experience that. I want you to have that experience with someone in your family. The reason we call this a parental interview is because you're responsible for selecting someone in your family who's at least at the parental level. It could be an uncle, it could be an aunt, could be a grandparent. But they have to at least be a parent. If you interview your cousin, that's great. You can interview anybody you want, but you will not get credit for the assignment unless you interview a parental unit. And when I say parental, I mean that level. So it's either a parent or an uncle or an aunt, someone in your family that you look up to, someone you select because you decide you want to learn from them. You want to understand what choices they made and how they managed money, because you recognize that they're a person who appears to be successful and you want to learn from them. And when you choose that person and you let them know that you chose them because you want to learn from them, by doing that, you are giving them a kind of affirmation. You're giving them honor and respect. And so it's a big part of this assignment for you to, the parental interview is an important part of that whole assignment, is the way that you do it. And so I want to talk about that now. Before I do, though, I'm going to take a pause, take a breath. I would drink some water, but I don't have any water with me at the moment. My water is all gone. I'm going to let you ask any questions you have. Christina, oh my goodness, Christina just won the extra credit for the day. I couldn't wait to see. Well, actually, I could wait because I did wait, which you got to be proud of me, Christina, for waiting. But you win the 10 points because she wants to know. Yes, she beat you, Ava. I don't know how. I think you guys got to pay. Well, anyway, I'm proud of both of you and all of you. So let me answer Christina's question. And if you're watching on Facebook or YouTube, let me just remind you that each week, the class collaboration assignment, that part of your assignment will be announced right here in the Zoom meeting. Who knows what time it will be announced. Today it's being announced at 10:24 a.m. on 12 September, year of our Lord 2023. And the proud winner of the 10 extra points this week is Christina. Thank you so much. And she says, this is a reminder to announce this week's class collaboration. So let me do that. This week's class collaboration, dun dun dun, drum roll. By the way, I just ordered a Stream Deck from Amazon. It's supposed to be here in the next hour or so. I just ordered it. A Stream Deck, I don't know, it's a 15 key Stream Deck. It's a XL. I've never used one, but it's going to sit right here so that when I'm streaming, I can push a button and have special effects happen during the stream. So one of the special effects I would have if I had my Stream Deck up and running would be the drum roll. So imagine a drum roll. Dun, dun, dun. That would be what I would do for you, Christina. But I don't have my Stream Deck. Maybe next week I'll have it ready to go. Yeah, that sounds fun. I hope it is fun, Ava. I hope it doesn't crash. That won't be fun, and you will see me sweat. Okay, back to Christina's question. Dun, 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 drum roll. This week's class collaboration. So here it is. It's kind of the key term, I would say, is work or work ethic. And what I want you to do in the context of your interview, if you're listening to this and you want to grab these class collaboration points, you're going to need to ask this question sometime during your interview. And you may, it'll be part of your interview. It's already part of the questions. But it's about work and work ethic. And what I'm curious about, what I'm genuinely curious about is your perspective, like your understanding of work and work ethic. Now, I don't know if you know this, but there's a big gap between, I'm considered a baby boomer. I was born in 1962. I think the baby boomer generation goes from 64 is, I think, the last year, but I'm 62, so I'm at the tail end of the baby boomers. I think you're Gen X, right? Millennials, I've been working with millennials for a long time, and I can tell you, I don't know if you know this, I don't mean to offend anybody, for sure, but boomers are different than you in terms of how we think, what we want, what we expect, blah, 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 all that cultural stuff. There's some difference. And when it comes to grandparents, like my grandparents were different than me. They were the greatest generation. And so things change over time. Culturally, they change. And my curiosity, my question is about work and work ethic. And I just want your opinion. And it can be based on your interview. Hopefully, there'll be some insights that you get in this interview about work. And what does work have to do and work ethic have to do with success in managing finances? So, like I'm telling you about my Uncle Hank, I've never met anybody that worked as hard as that dude. And it paid off in every way. It was hard work. He was smart, but it wasn't brilliance that made him successful. It was his dedication to do what he said he was going to do, to show up, to work hard, and he worked hard. And so in my experience in helping people manage money, one of the things I've discovered along the way is that people who are willing to work hard typically have better results. But I'm curious about, what do you think? I really hope that you will spend a minute or two and just think about that and reflect on that a little bit. The distinctions between then and now, and then meaning your parents, your grandparents, whatever perspective you're looking at and comparing to your life and your culture and your peer group and your experience with work and work ethic. How much does hard work play into success? Is it valuable to you? I mean, I'm just curious about your perspective. That's this week's extra class collaboration. Obviously, you're going to do the assignment, and you're going to summarize your interview, and you're going to share your first memory of money. That's all part of your assignment, but your class collaboration is to share a little bit about your perspective about work and work ethic, and does it matter? What's your perspective? So I'm looking forward to that. So I think that's about it. Today's going to be a short lesson. I'll unless you have questions, it's really pretty cut and dried, this assignment. It's, again, it probably is each of these assignments, by the way, have a special place in my heart. But this one is really my favorite assignment to read from you. Next week, we're going to start the Credit Crush assignment. And from a kind of really wow factor, that's probably my favorite assignment, because I'm going to show you how credit works. I'm going to show you how what credit strategies are available to help you manage debt and credit. So next week we're going to start, it's a couple of assignments called Credit Crush. And I'll give you a little heads up right now. You guys have done a great job in your Bayrock portal, your Right Capital financial planning portal. I appreciate that. You're doing great. You're all ahead of the game pretty much. We're going to start to work on your financial plan moving forward. And I think you've already changed your birthday. If you haven't, you will. Don't worry about it at this point. Just know that I'm going to give you a quick overview right now before I let you go for the day, because this week's assignment has nothing to do with your financial planning portal. It's really not part of your capstone assignment. But moving forward, every assignment that we do in this course will build onto your capstone assignment. And so again, let me just repeat what I said last week. Every assignment that you do where you work in your financial plan, you will be building out your financial plan and creating a comprehensive financial plan through the course of this semester. And I'll show you how to do that one data card at a time. Each data card represents something like your expenses, for your monthly expenses. Another data card would be your savings in your 401k. Another data card would be your bank account. There's 100, 200 data cards. But I'm going to help you focus on just a few. One of the data cards will be a credit card. So you are going to pretend that you're 10 years older, and you're going to pretend that you received the job that you really want to get, your dream job, that job that you would get after you graduate, that is in the area that you're studying. So this is how we're going to set up your financial plan. You're going to pretend that you have that job, that you are making the amount of money that you would make if you had that job. You're going to do a little more research, and you're going to figure out how much does your company that you got the job with, this imaginary job, how much do they match in your 401k, and you are going to create in your financial plan that data card that shows that you are contributing the amount of money that you would contribute if you had that job and you were earning that level of income, and your company was matching this percentage. Now you're going to add that to your financial plan, because you're going to pretend that that's your actual life. The next thing you're going to do, that I'm going to ask you to do in the Credit Crush assignment, this is where I'm going the next 2 weeks after this week, you're going to start to work on the Credit Crush assignment, which means you're going to have to buy a house. You're going to have to do a little research. You're going to have to figure out, what does a house cost in the area that you want to live. Hopefully it's near your job. How much does the house cost? How much is the insurance for the house? How much are you going to have to pay for taxes for the house? How much maintenance are you going to have to spend on the house? What are your homeowners association dues? So all of those little pieces of details related to your mortgage, that's one data card that you're going to build, and I'm going to show you how to build that into your financial plan. So you're going to buy a house. You're going to buy a car. And I want you to buy your dream car, like the Tesla that you really want to own, or the Beamer, whatever you want to own, whatever you want to drive, that dream car. I want you to spend a lot of money on credit on that car. Now, I know you probably, maybe a couple of you, don't want to spend a lot of money on credit, and that's fine. In real life, I hope you don't. I hope you be very careful, and I'll show you why. But for the next 2 weeks assignments, I want you to load up on credit. The house, the car, and I want you to go on a spending spree with your credit card and spend a lot of money, and then build that data card and show me some realistic percentages that your credit card company is going to charge you for interest on that credit card. So again, this is all next week. It will start next week. It's called the Credit Crush. I like the assignment because I'm going to show you how much it costs to have credit, to use credit in your financial life. I'm going to show it to you so that you can be like I was when my wife made me discover how much money we were wasting on credit card fees and interest. It was shocking to me. I felt like an idiot, because I was an idiot. But once I saw how much money we were wasting on all these little credit accounts, I made a decision that I didn't want to do that anymore. And I want you to make that decision too. So I'm going to teach you, I'm going to set it all up, help you set it up in your financial plan. And I don't want you to worry about the fact that some of these numbers, well, many of the numbers are just made up. You can go back in and you can change everything to what's real in your life whenever you want after we finish this semester. You'll have access to your financial planning portal for an entire year. And I hope you'll join me after the semester when you graduate. I hope you'll join me for my free online course. It's called 30 Days to Make Your Money Count, and you'll be able to pick up right where you left off in this semester. I'm working on that course now. It's not completely done. Some of you have signed up. Those of you who have, you're getting my daily email, which is new for me. I don't really send emails very much, but I'm doing it for folks who sign up for this course. So if you're interested in getting that daily email, I would love your input. It's certainly not required, but if you want to support what I'm doing outside of the classroom, right in alignment with what we're doing inside the classroom, I would love to have your feedback. So that's right where you signed up for Make Your Money for Money Study Group. There's 30 days to make your money count. If you sign up for that, I've set up a system where I'm creating the emails, so you'll get one email a day that will nudge you to go into your financial plan on Right Capital and make tweaks. And you're already doing most of the stuff that I'm doing in that course, but if you're got a few minutes and you want to make a little fun of me for my daily emails and the little videos that I'm sending out, you're welcome to do that. I would love to see your comments. It's just getting started, and you're invited. And again, it will be available to you after you graduate. So what I'm going to ask you to do this semester in terms of making stuff up may seem like a drag to you, hopefully not, but just I promise you, you'll be able to use these tools to create a genuine, actual financial plan for yourself. But work with me through the semester and let me show you how some of these strategies work. And it just works better if we have certain kind of common things like a house payment, a car payment, and a credit card payment. And I'll show you how it works, and it will be worth your time, I promise. And I think you'll be going, wow, like I did. So that's what's coming. This week, it's First Memories About Money and the Parental Interview. And remember, if you decide to interview your cousin or your roommate, that's great, but you won't get any points for that. So please follow the instructions. Don't ask if you can interview your roommate or your neighbor or whoever. If it's someone old enough to be your parent who's in your family or in your clan, then the answer is yes. It could be an uncle, could be an aunt, could be a grandparent, could be a parent, obviously step parents as well, but not a roommate. Nope, not a roommate. Not a roommate. So there you go. Any questions? I'm going to go ahead and, hey, by the way, Christina, I owe you 10 points. I don't know how I'm going to deliver those to you, but whenever you want them, you just tell me I owe you 10 points, and that's how that'll work. I'll try to remember to stick them on this week's assignment, but if I forget, I owe you 10 points. Good job. Thank you. All right. I don't see any questions. Say something before I let you go here in Zoom. Say goodbye. Say thanks. Say happy Tuesday. Say something so I know you're... Oh, there we go. Thank you, Ava. Have a good week. Ava's not watching Netflix. Hey, Nick's here too. Thank you, Nick. I hope you've been with me the whole time, but good luck with your assignment this week. Happy Tuesday, everybody. Thank you, guys. Thank you, Adriana. Everybody have a great week. I'm going to go ahead and jump on over to the live stream now, and I'm going to end the live stream. So if you're watching on Facebook or YouTube, remember you get to do your comments right there on YouTube or Facebook. Just grab a screenshot, or you can do it inside Money Study Group. But do let me know you're watching, because I'm not sure you're here unless you tell me you're here. So leave a comment, let me know you're watching on YouTube or Facebook. And again, this will be posted. By the way, let me just show you. I want to make sure everybody knows this before I go. This is our playlist for the semester. So this video will be posted right here in this playlist, and it's right there on my YouTube channel at Jim Munchback on YouTube. Munchback has an H on the end. All right, so there we go. I'm going to end